But this time I felt that I was looking at the skies while I was coming over here, and I just, everybody was asleep, snoring. But a voice said that, if you don't stop, if that's, I will bring this plane down now. And I said, who is this? So of course it's God. Okay. So I promised God to not to express slang, cuss words, and everything. So you guys hear me right always, because promise to God is He promised to the Filipino people. Huwag masyadong pakpak, baka mapalpak patuloy. Yes, go ahead.
Mr. President, the first question is from Sankei Shimbun, Mr. Froilan Garcia.
Good evening, Mr. President. I'm Froilan Garcia from the Japanese daily newspaper, Sankei Shimbun. My question is about your close meeting with Prime Minister Abe. Can you share what was discussed, especially there was mention of the current relation between the Philippines and U.S.? And then my second question is, was there any recommendations made by Prime Minister Abe with regards to your strained relationship with the United States?
Yes, we always do. I cannot avoid talking about it. So maybe the Prime Minister has his own questions, but we have agreed that these things should remain confidential as of this time. No specific or affirmative discussions taken. No negative ones, actually, but we agree that it would be best just to let it off for some time.
Sir, how do you view the relationship of Japan with U.S.?
Again?
How do you view the relationship between Japan and U.S.?
But that is the business of Japan and the U.S. I have nothing to do. My business was with Japan and the Philippines. Excellent. As to the other side, you ask the United States. I refuse to answer questions for them. I said it was sort of a sobrosa thing for us, both of us.
The second person who will ask a question, Mr. President, is Ria Fernandez of PTV.
Good evening, Mr. President. A week ago, the DOLE reported some 16,000 private contractual workers who have been regularized. I would like to personally hear from you, how about those contractual workers or workers in the government who are working under job order, talent status, and contract of service? What is the government's plan for them?
I'd like to congratulate first where it is really due to Secretary Bello. The fact that there are a number of Filipino employees already regularized is something which is well, it augurs well for the country, actually. The second question is, ano nga yun? Kakalimutan.
Sir,
I know I want the meat of your question.
The government has been successful in 4 months for those contractual workers in the private sector. Ano po ang plano naman natin doon po sa mga nagtatrabaho sa gobyerno under the same nature of work? Job order, talent status, etc.
Sigurado kayo ang tanong mo? You know, it would be a incongruity to discuss it fully. And you keep on asking why, until now, there are so many thousands of casuals in government. You know, government provides employment. Kung maaari lang, thousands upon thousands of employees to run the state. Yung kanila ba naman, ilan lang, even if it were 500, we employ millions. I have yet to buy the printing press that can print money plenty. In other words, at this time of our national development, we are not as yet ready to assume the burden of providing everybody with the salary that can compare with the, and even in the matter of managerial level. Wala pa ho tayong, ako, ang sweldo ko, 130 lang. Tapos pabalik-balik, ilang beses tayo nag-uusap dito. I should be, I'm having my headache. Hindi kaya ng gobyerno. Kasi as we progress, the state affairs also gets to be bigger and more employees needed, but our income, the GDP, that's income actually of government, GDP, is not that good. Maybe in the fullness of God's time. But if, I assure you, pag ginamit lang ito lahat to the last centavo, ang pera na binibigay sa atin o pinapahiram natin, I am very sure, I'm not talking as a politician or as a president, pag nagamit lang ito ng husto at wala lang graft and corruption, ang buhay ng ating mga kababayan gaganda within the next 3 years. Sigurado ako niyan. Huwag lang kurakutin ang pera at talagang aakyat tayo. The one thing that was really, or that is pulling us down until now, is graft and corruption. And I would like to announce to all and sundry, I will be harsh. I will be harsh in dealing with people in government or in the private sector, dealing with government in a corrupt way. Because then, pinagsayangan ko lang itong pagod ko. Ilang beses na ako pabalik-balik dito. Tapos ganunan lang ang, it's time to stop. It's time to stop. Our levels of income, maybe before you can afford this, you can do that, you can send your children to faraway places, you can, but this has to stop. Prominent among the offices in government, which is usually the object of anger and hatred by the Filipinos, ang customs, pati BIR. And in the highest levels, yung mga tax exemption that could only be given to the rich and the oligarchs. No special privilege this time. No special privilege. Sa kanyang lahat ng gobyerno, taga-gobyerno, pag wala kayong pera, pasensya kayo, you ride the economy class. Pag may pera ang opisina ninyo, pasensya rin kayo, you ride the economy class. Ayaw kong makita ang mga taga-gobyerno, and I'm warning you, there is a rule, it's still in effect, about using you in the casinos, and because I'll begin to, ito namang NBI, tama-tama naman itong, we have the police, and I think the NBI will be redirected to investigate lifestyle check, corruption. And I said, I will be harsh. Huwag na ho ninyo akong tanungin kung ano yung harsh. Kasi yun ang ginamit ko noon when I was asked, what will you do if? I said, I will be harsh. In all of my, medyo ano tayo, tiis-tiis na lang muna tayo. And corruption has to go. Lahat and local governments are encouraged. I suppose that I do not have to take a stronger measure. I do not want to pick a quarrel with the local governments executives. Pero kung mayroong kumang kasalanan, do anything there, huwag kayong pumasok sa droga. Madidisgrasya tayong lahat nito. I'm telling you, I'm not joking. Madidisgrasya ka talaga. Because if you do drugs, pati kayong mga pulis, pati kayong mga... Do I have may nagdala sa inyo ng, what's my aid? Dala ba rin yung pinakakapal? I do not want to make this public because it will just make the Filipino cry.